Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red, his official weight, 160 pounds. 13 victories in his professional career, including 5 by knockout, with 4 defeats and 1 bout even. Originally from the Dominican Republic, now living and fighting out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, he is Rogelio El Cuco Martinez. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black with yellow, and officially weighing 162 pounds. A perfect professional record, consisting of 17 bouts, 17 victories, including 12 knockouts. He's from Little Rock, Arkansas. Ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated Jermain Taylor.
The third man in the ring, Joe Cortez, will call the fighters to the center of the ring. He's trying to get Taylor in there. His corner consists of Pat Burns.
Gentlemen, we want to lose in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Obeying my commands all the time. I pelea limpia. Volpe aquí tan bueno. Matches here is still good. Obeying my commands all the time. Remember, guys, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Touch him up.
All right, so you see the trunks. Dicked out in the black and yellow is Jermain Taylor. In the red trunks, Rogelio Martinez. Martinez is a Pennsylvania state champ. This is a big opportunity for him to book on him. Davey, good boxer, good skills. No really one-punch KO power.
No, and he's Martinez has the added burden of managing himself. Quite a difficult thing to do in this day and age. He's doing pretty well his last couple fights. He's gotten himself up there and into a position like this. Double duty.
All right, here we go. Round number 1 again. It's scheduled for 10 middleweight division. Jermain Taylor, the guy that they're all building up and says that he has the right future, undefeated, 17-0 with 12 knockouts, decked out in the black. Rogelio Martinez trying to get things going here in the early going, and the red to kind of establish himself. He tries to get that jab in the face of Taylor. Martinez loads up the right hand, doesn't quite catch it. You see Taylor has a terrific jab, a real good left jab. Began boxing at age 13, Dave.
And Taylor trying to get his left hook counter in behind the jab of Martinez, with Martinez not bringing it all the way back. And he's able to tag him right now in some early openings for Jermain Taylor.
Well, Taylor is a good boxer who, besides that jab, can do a great jump counter punch if he has to. He hasn't had to do it too much. He's getting more comfortable, he tells me, as a professional. And he's not anywhere near as tense as he once was early in his career. He's never been down, never been hurt as a professional. But he does have that history, of right hand problems, but he tells me that the right hand is 100% and no bother with in the last couple of fights.
And it's always something in the back of a fighter's mind that it makes him nervous. You go back even to the days of Tommy Hearns, the big puncher, the big hand problems he had, and it might make you shy to throw it. Let's see how Taylor does here.
Jermain Taylor in the black with the white trim, in the red trunks is Rogelio Martinez. Martinez is world ranked. By the way, Taylor is ranked 5th in the WBC and the WBO and 7th in the IBF. So they're both ranked about the same, in spite of the fact that Taylor's undefeated.
You see 2 guys in the top 10 of an organization fighting. It's almost a rarity today without major title on the line, and it's a nice matchup, and the guys bring good skills. And right now, Martinez has been a little tense. Let's see if he comes out of it. He's been tentative.
Well, you know, Taylor said he might be a nice sneaky right-hand lead that time. He said, you know, with all the international competitions he had involved with the Olympics and traveling around the world fighting, he's fighting in Las Vegas for the first time in his career, and he said this is a huge thrill because growing up, this is what you see in Las Vegas. So nothing tentative of the way he's accepting the Las Vegas challenge. If it, in fact, is a challenge to him, or maybe it's something that just gets him excited.
Go all the way around the world to get a big thrill right here.
That's it.
And he's had a very good first round. Jermain Taylor's been smooth, he's been fluid, and he's been just missing with some big shots here on Martinez. Some hooks have gotten in, and that sneaky right hand has been there too.
Okay, there's that right hand again. That's a nice right hand lead. He really, you know, he sneaks off that left shoulder. There it is again. He comes back with the left hook. There's a nice combination of punches, I should say. He feinted with the jab, then he clipped him with that left hook that time, Dave. Closing seconds now. He goes right downstairs to the body. Tries to pound it every clip, and pretty good to the head.
He nailed him.
Yeah, closing seconds now of the first round of this fight. And as you said, Dave, a good Jermain Taylor round. Well, let's see if Martinez has in fact recovered from that good left hook at the end of the round. And there's another left hook. He starts out right away. You know, it's kind of a half jab, half hook, and I love it. A lot of power behind it.
And it's sneaky when it's thrown that way. Very deceptive, as Martinez able to get through it that time. But he gets into a jab position, and then he scores basically with a loaded jab.
Well, you can tell that the amateur experience that Taylor had really does pay off, because, I mean, this guy throws a textbook jab. He really drives up the back foot, which I love to see young professionals. And I mean, this guy, to me, looks like he has a lot of tools to fight in the middleweight division.
He's got a tremendous amount of poise early in this bout here. The jabs, and he's holding up Martinez at the right time, dancing out of the way, finding the right angles. And he has hit the ground running in this bout, where Martinez still looking to find that attack.
Martinez has his eyes right on him, but you know, the problem is the way Taylor has a tendency to almost spin with his left and throw the right hand, or that time he threw the left jab and the right hand behind it. I mean, this guy does textbook things that you know, if you're Pat Burns, you're going to love training this guy.
He can throw a jab and be moving 3 inches to his left, which changes the trajectory on everything, and then shoot that right hand behind it, and it gets in before you know the jab even got there. And he is doing an exceptional job with that so far.
I've seen Taylor on television. This is the second time I've seen him in person, and I'm much more impressed with what I've seen tonight, because, I mean, he's doing a lot of really unique things well, things that you teach fighters to do, sneaking off that left shoulder, throwing the sneaky right hand, kind of feinting with the shoulder, the left, and throwing the right hand. I mean, this guy's a good fighter. And Martinez, on the other hand, is no slouch.
Now, and for Taylor, he's doing a nice subtle balance here. You have to know when to get off first and when to be patient, and he has been able to do both of those tasks well. And that right hand continues to be a good sneaky weapon when Martinez not ready for it.
Yeah, it's difficult for Martinez because he's fairly busy himself. You know, he's been a distance fighter who works best on the inside, but he can't get in the inside of this guy at all. I mean, that jab at Taylor is just too much for him. And also Martinez, reading up on him a little bit, good body puncher. He's, you know, a little bit on the awkward side, but you're looking at a guy named Silk in there, as far as I'm concerned, and Jermain Taylor, he's really smooth.
Well, what you like about him is it's the jab plus. It's never just the jab. It's the jab plus the hook. It's the jab plus the right hand. He's doing something off the jab, and he's been able to get into a nice attack zone that way.
That time he just threw the jab, then he came with the uppercut with it. Boy, you're right, Dave. He's just so slick with things. You see that head bounce back of Martinez with that shot?
And he
jab,
keeps
right,
perfect balance after.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I can see why they're billing him as the next superstar. He has a lot of ability. Closing seconds of the second round. Another great boxing round for Taylor. Here we go, round number 3. Bob Sheridan with Dave Bontemps with the principals in there. Jermain Taylor decked out in the black trunks with the white trim and in red. Rogelio Martinez. Martinez, a native of the Dominican Republic, fighting out of Philadelphia, so you know he gets a lot of work, Dave. You live up in that territory, and I know you visit some of those gyms in Philly, and then some gym wars up there, so this guy's tough.
It's a badge of honor just to walk out of some of those gyms after those wars. And I suspect Martinez is going to make an effort to get into this fight. He may try to smother Taylor and try a different mode of attack here.
Well, nothing he's tried so far has worked for him, and part of the reason is because Taylor offensively is just doing such a great job. You know, when you have a great offense, then you know, you don't have to worry too much about defense. But this guy can counterpunch if he has to, and he hasn't had to. Although the way Martinez would love to fight this is right in here.
And Martinez is bobbing and weaving to get his way on the inside to try and force an inside battle, because the jab did not get him in there. So he's trying a different route. See the head movement, and he got in with the right hand.
Yeah, he did. He scored a pretty good right hand that time. It put Taylor instantaneously back on his heels, but he's backing off a little bit now, and now he wants to see if he can counterpunch this guy. He doesn't really need to fight this. He should just go and throw that left hand, that sneaky right hand lead. Everything was working for him in the first and second round, but it's Martinez who's trying to make the adjustment. There he goes with his sneaky right hand.
And Martinez doing the head movement. Watch the hips move, watch the head go as he tries to work his way on the inside. And that is a lot of work, because you have to maintain perfect balance to score with anything.
Minute 20 to go in round 3. Martinez to the left of your screen in the red trunks. That's Jermain Taylor in the black trunks. You see that right hand go through again. by Martinez. But, I mean, when he lands a shot, it doesn't seem to have the power that Taylor has, although Taylor hasn't really rocked him yet. And Taylor has landed, I would say, what, 3 flush right hands?
Taylor has been accurate with that. Martinez is doing a better job this round of putting himself in the punching position, even though it is more work.
Martinez has got himself in tremendous condition for this fight because he knows if he could beat this guy, I mean, he would vault right into probably a world title shot very, very quickly to be in the world scene. And he's coming off a victory, a 10-round victory over Alfredo Cuevas here in Las Vegas back in May. And prior to that in February, he had a loss that went 12 rounds for the Becker boxing title against Charles Whitaker. Not exactly a household name, but you know, another Philadelphia fighter.
The big thing is they both have the win over Alfredo Cuevas, and so no matter which guy you are in this fight, you believe that you're in there and you should win. And Martinez trying to be more aggressive in this round.
And he is more aggressive, but has he done enough to win this round, do you think?
Close.
Very close.
Maybe a shade.
Well, if he
He to go along with his power, and that's one reason he's in charge of this fight right now.
All right, this is round number 4. It's scheduled for 10 middleweights. Taylor in slightly over the middleweight division. He him in at 162. Martinez in at 160. Taylor's also a couple of inches taller, but believe it or not, Martinez has a longer reach, and it doesn't look that way, does it?
No, and that's why he's the one bobbing and weaving, trying to get inside like he was the smaller fighter among the two. And he's trying to slow down the pace of this fight and to disrupt the rhythm of Taylor, because otherwise he doesn't need Taylor's jab all night.
Swinging shot. That time he tried to time his shot coming in and came with a very quick right-hand uppercut. I mean, this guy comes at you from all angles.
Again, you see the bobbing and weaving by Martinez as he tries to get in and slow Taylor down and try to win an in-tight office battle.
Well, that's where he wants to fight this thing, but you heard in between rounds, Pat Burns saying to Taylor, look, don't worry about trying to double that jab. Your right hand's coming nice behind it. Just get the jab in his face so he can't work in. And you see the lack of the jab there. He's kind of swinging that left hand in front of him, but he wants to come with a hook when he's doing that. He lifts a little bit higher when he's going to throw the jab. Watch him, watch him, watch him. Watch the hook. Oh, no, he goes downstairs. See, this guy attacks from every place. How do you figure him out? And I'll tell you this, in fairness to Rogelio Martinez, he's making a pretty good fight out of this thing because this guy's a tough guy.
And he's come in here and tried to adjust the pace on the fight. He's trying to rough up Jermain Taylor, trying for new things. His only problem is when you have to do all this bobbing and weaving to get close, it's not a natural punching position. It's not a natural balance position. So sometimes he's doing a lot of work and having no punching space when he's done.
Look at that time. I mean, Taylor just whacked him right on the nose with almost the side of his right hand that time. His punches come from so many different angles. You don't know what to expect. Is he going to come with a sneaky right hand lead? Is he going to just nail you with that real stiff jab? But of all the middleweights I've seen in recent years, I think he's got the best jabs I've seen. I mean, just a pure jab, a powerful punching with that jab. This is a terrific jab.
It's one of those weapons as you go up in weight classes, you see less and less of it. You see fewer guys using it, and it's such an excellent weapon.
This is one of the best schooled young fighters I've seen because he does so many things so well. And I wonder how much of that is the training of Pat Burns, or does the guy have the talent? You know, there's the old saying that, you know, great fighters make great trainers.
Well, Pat Burns is a good motivator, and Taylor gave him something to work with.
Well, he certainly has extraordinary ability, that's for sure. And if, in fact, as the bell ends round number 4, if Martinez did get the third round, and then we go round 5 from Las Vegas. Joe Cortez call times out. Evidently just a piece of tape on the canvas, so time is right back in. Round 5, Taylor in the black, goes to work again. He has the jab pumping there like a piston in the face of Martinez. Martinez bobs left, back to the right, back to the left. He feints again. Now tries to work his way in. Taylor very quick on his feet too. You know, we haven't talked about his foot movement, but he's quick in and out.
Yeah, he really does move laterally well, and that sets up his jab, and he's able to get the proper angles off that. And he thinks well, as there's a sneaky right hand again, using it as a lead. And if you're fast enough, that can happen. And for Martinez, this is the time in the fight right now to gamble. You don't want to be forced to gamble when you're 5 rounds down in the 9th round and everybody knows you have to go for the knockout. He has to establish something right now in the middle round.
Yeah, he might as well let it fly, because nothing except for his aggressiveness in the 3rd round has worked from it all. And that's, you know, we're not sure that the judges gave him the 3rd round. I gave it to him because I wanted to stand up my score sheet that he had one really good round. But I don't really know if he won that round. But Taylor is such an excellent boxer. Now he's working with that left hand downstairs, back upstairs, wide with the right hand, but it gets a piece of him behind the head.
One thing you always love to see in a fighter is that he has his balance after he fires his combinations. And you look at Taylor, when he gets done, when he finishes up his sequence, he's on balance. He's not off balance. He's got his good leverage there, and he's able to keep punches off him when he does that. And that's just a mark of a guy that punches and thinks in sequence.
Is Martinez now working into the corner, but he's paying the price because the blood is streaming from the nose. Look at that uppercut. Bangs him behind the ear with the right hand. Look at this hand speed of Taylor. All the time, Martinez is keeping the pressure on, but you know who's scoring the big punches? Look at that body shot, digging body shot by Jermain Taylor. Digging body shot again, right hand, crisp right hand to the left side of the temporal bone.
And he just missed with another big one off the ropes.
Oh yeah, he threw that and it just whistled past the side of the head, and luckily for Martinez, but the blood is really coming down. He must have a broken nose the way the blood is streaming, it looks like, from that nose. Left nostril of Martinez, who wanted to mix it up. He had the right idea, as you said, Dave. He's got to do something to change it, but the trouble is when you come in like that and you get beat to the punch so many times and then counterpunch so devastating. How about that left hand there? That one rocked him. It's
discouraging because you know you can't stay in the end of the guy's jab all night. You might already have a broken nose. He's out pointing you that way. You try to rough him up, and he out punches you on the inside. So Martinez with double-edged trouble.
15 seconds to go. I don't think Taylor realizes that last shot that he hit him with really hurt Martinez, because Martinez looks very loose in the knees and very heavy in the feet to me, and I don't think Taylor realizes it because he just didn't follow up like he has as the bell ends round 5. But another good Taylor round.
Taylor with a tremendous uppercut there, and then a hook after Martinez had gotten inside, but Martinez unable to mug him because Taylor punches off the ropes well with that right hand. Then a leaping hook over here, landing flush, and then he's able to get out of the way. That's the quickness angle. He can go in basically an unorthodox angle and make you pay.
Martinez corner.
Esto lo quiere, ¿verdad? Usa el ya, estás entrando sin nada, te le está quedando muy en el frente haciendo nada. Ya vea, pam, 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 ya vea, you got a pass. Come on, Rogelio, you won this.
¿Todo bien aquí?
Sí. Ay. Vamos, Rogelio, trabaja este round. No lo puede dejar.
And of course, Dave, they're just trying to give him some encouragement, tell him he's got to throw. He knows, because he tried it midway through the round and he was beaten so bad on the inside. It's difficult, as you say, to keep the wind in your sails. Here we go. Round 6 from Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, Nevada. 2 good middleweights. Jermain Taylor having his way out boxing Rogelio Martinez, the tough kid from Philadelphia, by the Dominican Republic. Rogelio Martinez in the red trunks and the black trunks is Jermain Taylor. You know his history, the Olympian. He's 17-0 as a professional. He's cruising along here through 5 rounds anyway. I've got him winning at least 4 of the first 5 rounds.
And Martinez trying to do something here which is beneficial to work that body of Jermain Taylor on the inside. He's never had a patent for that in this fight, to try and slow down the movement of Taylor. He tried to do it early in this round, and it's a good sense of adjustment. And let's see what Taylor does in response.
He's looking, you know, you talked about his balance. How about his positioning too, Dave? You know, I talked about all the little things that he does so well. His positioning is exactly right, because as Martinez was trying to pull out the last time, he got clipped with a light left hand on the jaw and then a pretty good left hook to the side of the head. And just a slight leg adjustment by Taylor. His balance and his positioning is almost perfect.
And Taylor carving up this ring like a surgeon. Excellent in his movement. He gets little angles that benefit him, and then if it's not right, he moves away. And look at that power in and out.
great power with the left hook that time that's really spanked the side of the head of Martinez. Martinez now standing right in front of him. He doesn't have quite as much head movement as he had, and Taylor will make him pay for that, I'm sure.
And you know it's disgusting for you if you're in the ring. A guy can hit you as hard as Taylor does, and then he's not there for countering.
It would take the heart out of anybody. But Martinez, you know, he's been around a while, ranked as high as 5th by the WBC, and a really good fighter. But he's in against what I would have to see now, you know, one of the top 2 or 3 guys in the middleweight division, and he's only in his 18th professional fight. And you know, he's not pressing for the knockout. He's in his 17 victories. He's got 12 knockouts. We talked about the extraordinary punch stat, the accuracy of his punches have been sensational throughout the course of this fight.
When you talk about the fact he's not pressing for the knockout, that is what makes him difficult to fight, because he's not gambling, he's not opening himself up for situations. He scores, gets out, and doesn't make mistakes.
Here's Martinez, where he'd love to fight this fight inside, but he really didn't score inside because Taylor's slick too. He knows how to tie the hands up. You see the 3 left hooks that time? Taylor almost looks like he's got an adrenaline rush right now as he steps up into that left jab, spanks the head back again of Martinez. Again, Dave, not as much movement of the head of Martinez, and sooner or later he's going to have to pay for that.
Well, Martinez got inside and didn't work, and then Taylor came right back and scored with the kind of shots Martinez would have liked to have thrown himself. That's discouraging for him, and he's standing up straight now, a bigger target.
Well, I'll tell you this, for Martinez, he is in tremendous physical condition because he couldn't take the punishing shots that he's taken in this fight throughout 6 rounds now as the bell ends the 6th round. Just a great boxing show being put on by Taylor. As Winky Wright, of course, Winky's putting his IBF junior middleweight title on the line against Angel Hernandez. Hernandez ranked number 6 in the IBF, but the story on Winky is he wants to fight De La Hoya. Says De La Hoya's knocking him.
Hey, call out the names. Get it working.
Well, some of the names he wants are Fernando Vargas, Bernard Hopkins, if he has to move up the middleweight.
Oye, yo voy a dejar este round, voy a parar la pelea en el medio del round. Siéntate.
¿Quién ha dicho que la paren?
Espera. Want to have a round in this, so we're gonna stop there. Okay?
Who's the key?
Oíste.
Well, what they said in there, that one more round, he better get busy and better start landing some shots because Joe Cortez, a veteran referee, says, hey, you're a good fighter. I'm not going to let you just continue taking this kind of punishment on this night because this guy's just totally outboxing.
And that is appropriate intervention by the referee. They actually could have stopped it there if Martinez didn't have a lot of heart. It was at that point where it could have gone either way. And so now Martinez basically has been given a reprieve from that, and he has to open up now with whatever he's got.
In spite of the fact, and he may have that broken nose, he may be cut inside the mouth as well. And Cortez doesn't want to see a good fighter like Martinez get carved up by Taylor because it's academic right now in terms of any chance if Martinez has. He's got a great heart, and he might have too big a heart. The head can't take that much more punishment because he just walked in on another nice straight left hand and that broken nose, or if it is a broken nose.
Stop. Break out.
Joe has another look at his face and sees that he's really not doing much, and he's taking a lot. I would say 2 or 3 more head blows and Joe will stop this fight.
And especially after they give a warning now, they feel compelled to back it up because the thought is there now in the mind of the referee. And so if you're Martinez, you've really got to double up or expect that he may step in and end it.
Well, the fact of the matter is he couldn't take this extraordinary amount of punishment that he's taking without going down as he's not been in such great condition. The problem is when you get hit in the head as many times as he's been hit in the head, the brain is still taking some concussion up against the side of the skull, and that causes, as you know, microscopic damage. And that's what they're very concerned about the health of fighters here, especially in Nevada, because these referees have tremendous experience. Because there's so many fights here. Look at this. Look at this hand speed of this guy.
Bring out.
So Martinez doing what he needs to, and here is Taylor opening up on the inside, and the corner's going to stop this now.
They came up on the apron with the inspector and stopped the fight and said, that's it. The crowd doesn't realize, you know, if you're seated back on 10 or 12 rows, you don't realize the power of these shots. And even on television, you can't tell just how powerful some of these shots that Martinez took. That's the one thing. The punch stat tells you how many, but it doesn't tell you how hard. And I'll tell you, there was some hard, stiff jabs.
And, you know, this bout had become tremendously lopsided. So I think it's good
man. He could have lasted him last.
that they project
I understand what you're saying, Coach.
what could happen.
At the press conference, we got our guy. At the press conference, you understand? No, you shoot through the guy there, man. It was good work. You was doing good, man. Hey, man, what you got, man? I'd be mad as hell if I was you. Yeah. They should never stop your fight, man. You was good work, man. Don't never let nobody take nothing from you, baby. Man, you see that, man?
And Taylor doesn't like the idea that he's not fighting.
He's consoling Martinez and telling him to get mad at his own corner.
Nah, that corner did the right thing. Taylor, you know, a little bit cocky now because there were some words said at the press conference, but that's all by the board. This guy's a serious superstar, I think, on the rise.
He gets better every time we see him and gets that level of confidence every time we see him.
Well, I saw him earlier in his career. He moves to 18-0 with the TKO victory here in the 7th round. We'll get the official particulars for Michael Buffer momentarily, but I'll tell you this, that to me is as good a performance by a guy in his 18th professional fight as I've seen in a long time.
And what should have been an even fight on paper. This was a competitive fight on paper, and he made it look one-sided.
Well, you couldn't make a match any better than number 5 in the WBC fighting the number 5 in the WBA, and then number 8 in the IBF, and number 7 in the IBF. I mean, here he is. And it's like
Joe Cortez calls a halt to this contest. The official time, 1 minute 42 seconds of round number 7. The winner by TKO victory, he's still undefeated, Jermain Bad Intentions Taylor.
Little Rock, Arkansas, baby. Hey, this man here was a work, baby.